Cosatu is staging a nationwide protest today to mark World Day for Decent Work. In Gauteng, workers will hand over a memorandum of demands. Some of the entities that will be approached include Eskom, Massmart and various government departments. Senior reporter Aviwe Mtila is on the story and joins us this morning. Good morning, Aviwe. We understood that members were to be congregating there at around 9. What is the status?
Well, it is just after 9, Mfundo, and it doesn't look like the numbers are here as yet. There's hardly 10 people here. In fact, I'm going to ask my colleague, Tami Chamana, just to show you what is happening outside Cosatu House. That is, of course, the headquarters of Cosatu, where we're expecting the Johannesburg March to congregate before moving, then we do understand, to Eskom and the Johannesburg CBD, as well as the game entity. Those are the two targeted places by the Cosatu today. But we do understand it is, of course, around the World Day of Decent Work and its importance that says that the workers, in fact, should be respected and the rights of human just as a person and the workers themselves. It looks at the protection of labor laws, UIF benefits, national minimum wage, which is at 23 Rand and 19 cents, just among other issues that will be looked at here. But we do understand a memorandum is supposed to be handed over at Eskom and Game. In fact, I want to bring in the leader of the Young Communist League here, which is, of course, an affiliate of SACP. Maybe to give us more direction, thank you for joining us at eNCA. On what's going to happen today. What will be on the memorandum that will be handed over at Eskom as well as Game? Why them specifically?
No, thank you, Aviwe. Greetings to you and greetings to your viewers. The march is a demonstration by workers, for that matter, in terms of their dissatisfaction on how Eskom has been conducting itself. It is not just a march of workers. One thing that you should understand about workers themselves is that they are community members even before they could become workers. Therefore, their struggles in the workplace cannot be isolated from their struggles in their communities. Eskom has affected or has impacted negatively in terms of their actions on the working class, generally in the country. SMMEs have suffered because of Eskom and load shedding. People's health care has been put at risk because of Eskom and load shedding. People's jobs have been lost because of Eskom and load shedding. And that is why workers are marching to Eskom. And by the way, all of this happens merely because of incompetence. Eskom does not really have that much problems. It is incompetence and it is incapacity. Workers are going to demonstrate, by the way, to the leadership of this country, whom are given the responsibility to fix Eskom, to say, it is either you fix Eskom or we ship you out. If you don't know, or if you have not been aware, the Minister of Minerals, Resources and Energy, Aviwe, has been consistent in saying that the capacity is there in the grid. However, there seems to be a problem in terms of linking what is there in the grid and generating it and putting it to communities. What does it tell you? It tells you that the issue of Eskom or the crisis with Eskom is nothing but incapacity, it's nothing but incompetence.
While you talk about Game, yes, while you go into Game, also maybe highlight the importance of the International Day of Decent Work itself.
Most definitely. In fact, it's not only about decent work, but it's also about the rights to work. South Africa, by the way, has got the highest inequality in the world. And the unemployment rate is skyrocketing, right? Before we can even speak about decent work, we need to speak about the right to work. And by the way, the right to work must also be accompanied with what we call a living wage. And that is what actually characterizes what you call decent work. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, as part of the demonstrations here that are taking place today, that is why Game, by the way, is targeted. They are a monopoly on one hand, and on the other hand, they are literally paying workers peanuts, whereas the leadership of Game and all these other wholesale corporates are paying workers peanuts. If you check the difference between what the CEO of Game, what the CEO of ShopRite and others are earning compared to what the normal worker is earning on the ground, you might as well just say Eskom is deliberately paying, not Eskom, this wholesale stores are deliberately paying workers a poverty wage.
23 Rand 19 cents is the national minimum wage. Is it adequately? Is it enough to address the needs of the worker on the ground?
Listen, That is a discussion for another day, but it does respond to a number of challenges. It does respond to the domestic worker who, by the way, was being paid far below that. It does respond to the farm workers in the Northern Cape and other parts of the country that were still subjected to what we call the pickaninny wage, whereby they might even be paid with alcohol or proceeds of what they are working for at the end of the day, instead of being compensated with money, as if they don't have needs, you know. Therefore, the minimum wage, whether it's sufficient or not, is a discussion that is important, that is urgent, that we should have. However, what we appreciate about that, number one, is that it's a product of the working class. We worked for it. We fought for it. Number two, what we appreciate about the national minimum wage, it actually addresses certain challenges regarding the imbalances in our society. It addresses the plight of farm workers. Farm workers, some of them were barely ever earning even 1,000 rand, by the way. Some were earning even below the poverty line. And as we speak now, it is legislated that you cannot pay workers below the poverty line. That is an achievement.
All right, thank you very much. One of the leaders of the Young Communist Party, of course affiliated to the SACP, the youth structures there, saying that South Africa, of course, as we know, is the most unequal society in the world. Some of what the International Day of Decent Work is supposed to address. 23 Rand 19 cents per hour is the national minimum wage. They're saying that at least it's getting somewhere, but still maybe not enough. Still needs to be discussed, in fact, Mfundo.